Welcome to Mams Talk, where Mams Talk Survivor. I'm Kay. I'm here with Jessica. We're talking about episode 2 of Survivor Skaneateles. A man drowned. He came back to life. He said he was coming back to fight, and then he was swiftly booted back out of the
Yes.
revolving door.
Yeah. R.I.P. Surat. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It does make me depressed, dejected, another D word, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Yeah, in the wise words of Justin.
Yes. Thank you, Justin.
But yeah, no,
For
it was sad for to watch a man who just got back into
yeah,
the game go right back out.
girl, tell me, I was part of this. I was at fault for this. I was
Yeah,
complicit, one may say, in the voting out of Surat. So I do feel deeply, deeply guilty about it. And watching this
yeah.
episode is still hard for me to process that.
Hmm.
It's not a fun despite the amount of really funny one-liners that are in this episode, I
Hmm.
did find myself being like having whiplash of like, ha ha ha, this was such a fun day to oh god,
Yeah.
existential dread.
Do you have a message that you want to say to the audience? An apology, perhaps?
You know, I as guilty as I feel, I don't know that I can really apologize because I
Hmm.
do think this was the right move for my game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Me specifically, given the Grant Idol situation and having Justin as my brother in the game, I don't really think there was another option on the table for me in this
For you.
moment. So
Gotcha.
I do not apologize, but I do feel bad about it, if that helps.
Certainly. Yeah, and we'll be back later with Surat. He will be here to discuss his perspective of things, and hopefully you guys can hash it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we're gonna make amends.
Yeah.
We haven't
Squash.
spoken.
Yeah, bad blood between you
Just
two.
kidding. Just kidding. That's not
Just
true.
kidding, JK, JK,
Um,
JK.
but
Um
I oh shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something about Surat. Oh, he voted for me, so I really
oh,
can't
he
feel
sure
too
did.
bad, you
Oh
know?
my God, wow. Yeah, you guys really have to hash
Yeah,
it
we have
out.
beef, you know?
Yeah. So a little bit of tension might
I
be
mean,
happening later.
listen, we invited him to the wedding. He didn't come.
And it's because of this.
And it's because of this.
Yeah, he didn't
So,
have other obligations.
yeah, no.
So,
I
ooh,
mean,
yikes.
that's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, I do want to get into like why Surat was booted
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
Let's take it back to the beginning, obviously. I
Hmm.
mean, the man did suffer a bit of a drowning situation,
Yes.
which I
One
do
could
take
call it a drowning situation.
drowning situation, which I do take a lot of fault for. So maybe I'm the most complicit here. Maybe I owe
So
him the
true.
most apology.
You did plot his demise, really, from the
Yeah,
jump.
right.
I
The
mean,
moment he
yeah,
jumped.
it's really hard because we all felt so bad about that situation, but at the end of the day, he did miss like 3 hours of gameplay, and he was coming
Yeah.
into a a tribe that had already basically fully formed. And I guess we're not the kind of gamers that were willing to let that slide
I
for
mean,
niceties. I don't
no, but he
know.
would have brought a good energy. I mean, seeing his cute little
I
face brought a lot
know.
of joy to my life just watching it.
Yeah.
I think
He's
he would
such
have
a
brought some
sweetie.
rapport perhaps to the tribe.
Yes. Yeah, I think for me it was hard because like this was I did not have say a pre-existing relationship with Surat going into this.
Hmm.
Meanwhile with Justin and Grant I did have strong bonds with them
An
and I
extensive pre-existing relationship because Justin's your brother.
were siblings, yes. So
Yes, your
yeah.
siblings. Gotcha, gotcha.
So yeah, so I mean like, Justin had my name in his mouth clearly, but
Yeah, I mean that didn't mean much.
it didn't mean much, and it also like I didn't know about it. So I can't remember. I was definitely told at one point But I was not super aware of him running around with my name in his mouth. But I also like when I like, if I had known about that in this moment, I don't think it changes anything for me. Like, I don't know. It felt like a lot of like, all talk, no actions kind of thing. I wasn't really scared of Justin, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't know
So,
if he was getting like the ball rolling
yeah.
really.
So I wasn't too worried about that, but I did, because I didn't already like have a strong relationship with Surat, I felt like I had like more ground to cover with him versus like other people did with him and I had with the other two options whose names were being thrown out.
Yeah.
So it just sort of felt like the obvious choice for me to get Surat out at this point. And also like he already kind of had like, it's sad, but like he was already sort of like, is he going to be well enough to do the challenges? Like he was already kind of a flight risk in that way.
Right.
So
And
it
he
just was,
sat out of the
he sat up.
challenge,
And
notably.
to be fair, I can't, in the footage, it's hard to say how much he wanted to sit out of that challenge because I just was go, you're sitting, you want to sit out?
You want to sit out,
So
period.
first of all, do you want to sit
You
out?
want
And then he
no,
just sort of,
I don't know if you said do you. I think you just said like you
you
want
want
to
to sit
sit
out?
out.
You want to sit? Oh, it had a question mark at the end.
Mm.
Okay. I wasn't trying to tell him to sit out, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like based on the conversation we had with him at the dock, it didn't really seem like he was feeling 100%. So we were like, I felt like
yeah.
it was, and maybe I was making assumptions. Maybe I should have given
Sure.
him, a chance to say his piece, but I kind of just wanted to give him an easy out without feeling bad sort of
Yeah.
situation. To kind of just be like, first of all, I feel like it makes sense for Surat to sit out, whether or not like
Yeah.
I don't know, because maybe he would have tried to be like a martyr and then he would have hurt himself. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I thought I was doing the right thing, but watching it back, maybe I should have let him speak for himself in that moment. But
Yeah. I mean, like while it is a semi-physical challenge, like the 30 seconds he was gonna like
yeah,
jog around in a circle, probably
yeah,
he would have been okay. But the fact
yeah.
that he didn't like try to be like, "Oh no, I can."
Right, right. He
It's
definitely
not
had
instilling a lot of confidence for
he
like
definitely
his
could have said that. He also, from my memory, it seemed like he wanted to sit out. Like after I mentioned that, like, it seemed like he was
probably.
like, "Yeah, I'll
I
sit
mean,
out."
he did, yeah,
Like,
he did. He was like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I just felt like that was obvious, but maybe yeah. Again,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe I should have asked, but either way, yeah, he did sit out in the challenge, so it was kind of
I mean, the
easy
other
for
name
us
was
to
you, so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like maybe you making him seem like he was less capable than he was, didn't it,
Potentially,
it worked out.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, he did. Let's be clear here. After he was voted out, he did sleep for another couple hours. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he probably did need the rest.
Yeah, I think I was erring on the side of caution,
Yeah.
mostly, which is fair. But anyway, yeah. So he did sit out of the challenge, which I think was a mark against him because we kind of were taking that as like he isn't ready to help contribute to the tribe. We lost the challenge. Maybe if he was feeling 100% and could participate, it would have gone differently, that kind of thing. So it definitely impacted him going home at the end of the day.
Yeah. And then he comes back and he goes up to Ella and Zach
Mm-hmm.
and is like, hey guys,
Mm-hmm.
I have a secret alliance with Dylan. And then proceeds to elaborate that he doesn't want to stay true to that
Mm-hmm.
alliance. But like he wants to like use that to take out Dylan.
Yeah.
Um And I think what happens in this moment is that Ella and Zach, they hear Secret Alliance with Dylan and their brain just stops listening to the rest of what he's saying.
Oh
Because the
yeah.
reaction after that is strong.
And also, not all, it wasn't even caught on camera, but Ella, I heard separately from the two of them that this had happened, that he's working with Dylan. And also, Ella said it like multiple times, I believe, in our
Oh,
conversation. So it was
yes.
clearly taken very strongly that this was the case. And then I also think it's punctuated by the fact that, again, not in the episode, he left our camp after the few conversations he had had. I didn't even talk to him. He leaves camp to go. I don't know what he was doing. I think he was gonna like. I think he maybe didn't realize we had access to a bathroom at that camp, but he ends up staying at camp for like 30 minutes. So honestly, like I don't see him again until tribal at that point. So there was
Mm,
not a lot of time for him to like maybe make up the ground he had lost with
yeah.
being out and then also like maybe putting his foot in his mouth with the Dylan thing.
Yeah. And at that point,
So
people are looking for any excuse to take
yeah.
like like take somebody out, and he
Yeah,
already had so much
especially
against him. And then
mhm.
I don't know, it's tough.
Especially the first vote, it's like you really don't want to like go in too hot on someone that you feel is a strategic threat. So you kind of
Yeah.
just pick the person that you maybe feel like you don't have as strong a bond with or like hasn't been as present. And like, unfortunately, that was obviously Surat. Like, it was just really a tragedy of circumstance with him, you know?
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, listening to his confessional about like his experience with the said drowning situation,
Yeah.
um, it was truly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Very hard to watch. And I was like, and then he was like, and I'm here now, I'm here to fight. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, you go get it. Cut to, so Dylan and I have a
So,
secret alliance. Oh, we were
oh
rooting
no.
for you. We were all
I
rooting
know.
for you.
I do feel so bad that
Yeah.
that was like so misconstrued because he really did seem like he wanted to like fight with the team and like,
Yeah.
he
It's
was
also funny
excited.
because Dylan also didn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
So it
And
wouldn't have
we
mattered anyway.
yeah, and I feel like he made that pretty clear. Like I think we could have assumed that that even if Sarat was like banking on his relationship with Dylan, that Dylan was not gonna, you know.
Yeah.
But again,
So
it's the same
what
thing that happened with Manhattan though. It's like the couple's an easy target, you know. It's just
yeah,
it's a strike against you. It's just
right.
easy.
Yeah. Yeah, the I don't know what to say, but I do want to talk about, I think the Secret Alliance thing happened while he was in bed.
Yeah, I
I think
think
there was some
so.
illegal trust cross
Mm.
tribal strategy
I think that's
happening.
well, as we know, Dylan was being a supportive
Was
partner
tending,
and was
yes.
tending to Surat, so it's very possible that that is when that conversation happened.
Yeah. And obviously we weren't gonna be like, no, you can't,
Yeah,
like,
right.
whatever. But
Yeah.
people use any
Mm-hmm.
excuse they can to
Yeah,
play the game,
totally.
which is smart, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe he had to go here as like a punishment.
So true for cheating.
Yeah. And maybe Dylan should have gone last time.
Exactly. Justice for Dominic.
Justice for Dominic, who has never broken the rules and will never break them.
Never ever. Certainly not.
More to come on that. Yeah, so that's Surat. We're very sad that he is no longer with us, but
Yes. But thank
I
you for
think
your
I
time.
think it was for the best.
Yeah,
And he can cheer on
definitely.
his partner from the sidelines.
Yes.
So let's talk about the fallout of Dominic.
Yes. Oh, yes. This conversation's so funny. Allie is like coming in hot with her defense against herself. She just gathers everyone up and is like, "Okay, listen. I'm going to tell it to you straight." And then I feel like it's what's funny about it is she like starts telling them like the story about it, but then the second someone asks a question, she goes, "Be so honest. If this was you,
Be
would you not
be
do the same
so
thing?
for real. Be so for real. You wouldn't do that? You wouldn't do that,
Be
really?
so honest right now." And it's like, girl, I think everyone seemed relatively understanding of the
Let's pump the
situation.
brakes a little bit.
I think she was really ready to have to fight for her life. Like I think she
Yeah.
thought people were gonna come in hot. So she started coming in hot, and then Caroline was like, "No, yeah, he totally like screwed you over, threw you under the bus."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Allie.
Oh,
She does
Allie.
also like kind of give up her strategy with the idol a little
Oh
bit, but
yeah.
she like literally says like, "Oh, I was hoping he would give me the idol," but like they don't even know what
Well,
that was a
that
thing. And then Caroline's like, "Wait, what? You can't do that. That's like
yeah.
against the rules." And she's like, and then she tries to backpedal and just
She's
pretends like
like,
she
it
doesn't
was
know.
like, right. She was like, it was like wishful thinking. And she also says that she did not read the paper. She makes that very clear, which is also funny considering the fact that she was so adamant that no one else read the paper at Tribal. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, girl, if you didn't read it, then why do you care what's on it? Like, but yeah, she's like, I was just really hoping that like somehow the game structure would be that he would give it to somebody and then maybe he would give it to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Caroline's like, that's against the rules.
You know what she should have said is she should have said he told her about the idol and he
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't tell her what the power was and she didn't know if he was going to
Mm,
play it and be safe. So she wanted to stay on his good side. I feel like
gotcha.
maybe that would have worked
Yeah. But I think she
potentially.
gets away with it because I think
Yeah.
people kind of just believe that she's like naive and like
Yeah,
is a little clueless.
definitely.
Um,
Which is good for her.
which is good for her, works out, but it was
Yeah,
really risky to even
definitely.
talk about the her strategy with that.
Caroline was so focused on the fact that she was correct that it was in the rules that that couldn't happen that she doesn't even
Yeah.
stop to think if like Allie's playing her, which is
Well,
funny.
to be fair, there are a lot of people who don't follow the rules,
Yes.
so
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
who's another one to add to
Right.
the list, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we've already talked about one this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yeah.
hint hint make more to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really the fallout of that. But it seems to like wash over pretty easily.
Yeah.
And
I think
everyone's like,
she
yeah, it's fine.
yeah. I mean, like I remember I mentioned in the last episode, like Allie's game could have totally been flipped upside down because of that, but it seems like she
Hmm.
gets away with it pretty easily. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's also just she has a personality that you
Yeah.
like kind of she can get away with a lot more. I
Yeah.
think if someone like Grant had been in that
Oh, yeah.
position,
Oh, yeah.
like I don't think it would have been
Mm-hmm.
the same thing, even if he had said the exact
Yeah.
same words.
Yeah. Allie's really good at playing herself, downplaying herself and her,
Mm,
like, not necessarily her intelligence. Like, I don't think she comes across as, like, dumb. I guess
yeah.
naive is a good word. Like, the
Mm-hmm.
naivety that she portrays of herself, making it seem like she's, like, I'm just here to have a good time. Like, that kind of vibe.
Right.
Instead of, like, a strategic thinker. Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of advantages, let's talk about we get a couple
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
episode.
Which is
Um
so
uh,
fun. Episode 2, Idols on
eh,
Idols.
so let's talk about Zach receiving
Yes.
the yin yang, the half.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, like I'm so sad that like Dominic left with it,
Mm-hmm.
but now I have this." And then
Yeah.
there's probably the other half at our
Yes.
camp, and the
Yes.
wheels are turning. Like he's like, "Oh yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta find that." And it is. His intuition
Yeah.
is right. It is in a rock.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this last episode. The fact that like it didn't play out the way that I was hoping it would. Now there's no clue to it. And
Mm-hmm.
like specifically that one is kind of hard
Mm-hmm.
to find out a clue.
Yeah,
So
I don't know that any of us were thinking hard enough to open up the rocks or even pick up the rocks, really. But yeah, it was tough. But I do love
well,
that
here's the thing. There weren't a lot of hiding places at your
yeah.
camp. So I thought maybe someone would go over by that like those couple of rocks or whatever and maybe
Mm-hmm.
pick them up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking, I
It's
guess.
fair and also with the clue it would have helped more. But the I like that Zach is already thinking about like how to get the other half. He's on the right track. He's just I like his thinking here that he is
Hmm.
like it's probably at our camp. If Dominic gave it to me, it's probably at our camp.
Yeah.
So I think he was a really good person to get this idol. He can get the ball rolling on it a little.
Yeah, definitely. And then Ella's like, I have what I believe to be an idol in my
Oh, I
pocket.
love this moment.
And I'm filming the confessional, and like as she's opening it, she sees the words, "This is not an idol," and she just goes, "I'm gonna kill you."
And then she dejectedly reads out the rest of the clue.
But listen, a fake idol is still advantageous.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So like it's not a total loss here. There's a lot you can do with a fake idol, so
For
we'll see.
sure. I just love her excitement that is immediately squashed because she was
Yeah.
too afraid to open it in plain sight. So she waited
Hmm.
until which was smart. Wait till your confessional when you're out of
Yeah.
sight of everyone and everyone is giving you like purposeful privacy to open it
Hmm.
and see what it was. And then we got that iconic moment. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah, of
Ella.
course. And then of course, and I do want to talk about this more in depth, but Grant shows you his idol. And
Yeah.
this is stemmed from the coconuts kind of being like, what's Grant's deal?
Yeah, I mean, you see the conversation with me and Gabby. We're kind of like, okay, he was really helpful in the challenge. Like, we are like happy that he's on our tribe, but he's still like we kind of felt like we needed to like test his loyalty to the tribe. And I felt like I would be a good person to do that because I know him well. So I said I was going to ask him about it, and we were like we had kind of come to the conclusion that we were pretty sure he had whatever was in the
Yeah.
box. I was shocked when he showed it to me though. Like I was not expecting him to be honest about it. I thought that I was gonna get some BS answer, and I was just sort of hoping I would be able to tell that he was lying. Like it would be
Yeah.
more of like taking the temperature if I think he's lying. I did not think he was gonna like tell me straight up that he had the idol. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, what do I do
I
now?
mean, the way that he is like swaying with his little police officer
Mm-hmm.
glasses and
Mm-hmm.
like being like, yes, ma'am.
Oh
Yes,
my
ma'am.
God.
I was like, where are you from?
No, genuinely, I was like, what? I've never interacted with him, and he's never acted like that
I
before.
was
I
like,
was
what
like,
is this energy coming
all
off?
right.
It was interesting.
It certainly was interesting, and I feel like I was expecting him to lie in that moment because he was acting so shady, and
Hmm.
like he had the sunglasses on so he didn't have to like make eye contact with me or anything.
Like a poker
But
player.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
was just fully expecting like a BS answer, but yeah, I was shocked and excited when he showed me the idol because I was like, oh my God, I have game information. This is so great.
You're like baby's first game move.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I was like, oh
So
my God,
happy for
I
you.
went to seek out information and I got that information. And now people think I'm going to tell them that I found it out, but actually I'm going to keep it to myself.
Wow.
Huge.
Revolutionary. Keeping a secret to yourself.
Yeah.
Um, I do okay, so let's talk about the actual tribe picks here. So Grant
Yeah.
and Mo are given the option to choose a tribe to join. Mo is the first to pick, and he's like the what are they called? Oh, the dolls? I picked
The
the dolls
yeah.
tribe. Like
Yeah.
he seems unsure of even
He's
what the
so
name of them
funny.
is
Yeah.
because he was living in his own world.
The dolls tribe.
The dolls tribe. But well,
Yeah.
this is, and because as Grant said, does he really seem like a man who's making a lot of plans, do a lot of thinking?
That was funny.
What a
Yeah,
crazy thing to say.
and I do have to agree. In this game, Mo does not seem like a man who's making a lot of plans and doing
Decisions,
and
yeah.
thinking. Yeah. So, because clearly
He's
he
like, wait,
didn't.
which one do you not want?
Right, like he was kind of I think he was kind of hoping Grant would be the one who's asked first, so Grant could just be like, I chose the coconuts, and then Mo's like, I get whatever's
I get
left.
the other one.
Yeah.
But he got
So
there. He came
he
up with a
got there.
name.
Yep.
Yeah, he got there,
Hmm.
and they're happy to have him.
Yeah. I was also happy that we knew the choices going in. I mean, we didn't know, but I feel like it was pretty clear what was going. I mean, it was pretty obvious what was happening since we had not spoken to Mo until that like the scene in the beginning of the episode where he's on the dock. That's like the first time we've even interacted with him as a
Yeah.
tribe. So we were just fully prepared for Grant to be on the tribe, which was good because I felt like it was like finding if it had been like a controversial decision, finding out like at the challenge would have been like kind of
Mm.
spicy, but we knew the answer to the question.
And I feel
So
like there was kind of like a thought from your guys' tribe that like because he wasn't here, he probably was spending a lot of time with
yes.
the dolls, but that's
Yes.
not true either.
Yes. We
He was
just
just living
assumed
in his own world.
yeah, we didn't quite assume that. I mean, I think we had a conversation about like Grant. Mo probably doesn't care and is doing whatever Grant says. Like we definitely talked about that, but we did
Hmm.
assume that he was making stronger bonds ahead of the game. Like similar to the bonds that we were making with Grant, we assumed was happening with Mo and the other tribe.
Yeah. And that's fair.
Yeah.
But Grant joins you and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, what does he say? Because he's like, well, the other tribe thought I was a schemer,
Oh, he
which
goes,
I'm not,
yeah, yeah. He goes, yeah, all I wrote was a schemer, which I'm not.
which I'm not. But then after he says that he's not a schemer, he goes, well, I wanted to pick the coconuts when they lost, but then they won, so that kind of messed up my
Yeah,
plans.
yeah. He wanted to pick us while we were down and out so that we
Yeah, and I
would
was like,
really feel like we relied on him.
that kind of seems like
Yeah.
scheming to me.
Oh, totally. Yeah, 100%. I mean,
I don't know about you.
everything about him is schemer. The glasses,
The
the
glasses.
shifty behavior, the sneaking around camp that we talked about last episode, all of it. Like trying to engineer Mo to get the other idol by telling him about the
Hmm.
puzzle box, taking our idol and like being sketchy about it.
Yeah,
He's talking Black Widow Brigade. He's doing textbook schemer, like
right.
100%. So it's
Which
just,
is
yeah.
why from here on out you will see his lower third say not a schemer instead of
Yeah,
his job
because he's
title.
not. Because
Because
he's not.
he's
He's an
not.
upstanding citizen.
So we'll keep that in mind as we go forward, that everything he's
Mm-hmm.
doing is not
100% honest,
scheming.
never once lies, has no poor intentions. Not at all. No.
No,
Not looking
no
out for he's not looking
plans.
out for himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully.
So
He's a team player at the end of the day.
yeah, he's an honest guy who never has any secret, sneaky intentions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
for
all.
sure. For sure.
So we'll just
Yeah.
keep that in mind. So let's talk about the challenge.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think it's funny because you call it, what is it, blind catch? Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
know, but
feel like
it's
that's a very like European way to call tag.
I've never heard that before. Maybe the Europeans will be on your side here, but I we all thought we were throwing a ball blindfolded.
I
We
also go
Yeah,
catch.
yeah, which is catching a ball, but then you explain it and then you go, there's an evader and there's a catcher. And then I was like, wait, we're throwing balls to someone who's trying to like evade the ball.
It's
Is
also
that what
dodgeball.
like
Blindfolded dodgeball. Something to think
whoa,
about.
something to think about. Yeah, so I remember we had like you explain the entire challenge and we're all kind of just like desperately waiting to ask questions because we were all so confused. And then you like re-explained it to us. But yeah. Yeah, I was so scared of this. I think a lot of people were scared to do this
Hmm.
challenge. And there's also such a steep drop of
Yeah,
the on the in the backyard of there's like this like
right.
hill. So it was really scary to run around and like Caroline's running into fences, Allie's running out of the game area,
She's
but
about
it
to roll
was
down the hill hard.
fun.
I
I
had
look insane.
so much fun. There's like two segments of the season that if I need like a pick me up, like I can put this on and I'm just laughing my head off. And this is one of them.
Because
Uh
I look crazy.
yeah, there's because I mean I'm not even calling a lot of it because I'm just laughing so
Yeah.
hard in the corner, like literally about to pee my pants.
I liked when I ran into you
Yes.
and you get a little shown on camera.
If there was a camera on me, I would have been like you would have seen me peeled over laughing.
Yeah.
Specifically you, because you look insane.
I look crazy. Like I didn't feel that crazy when I was doing it. I was not listening to a single thing the caller was saying. I just was like, run, run, run. Oh, fake him out. Run, run, spin around, spin
Yeah,
around.
you were doing little spin moves.
And guess what? I feel like it was working.
I
And also,
think so.
because I think that the caller from the other team couldn't keep up with me. So it was harder for them to find me.
Right, they couldn't say go left, go right because you were juking them.
Exactly. So I
Yeah.
think it ended up working, even though I ended up not really moving very far, which I think kind of killed me in the end when I did get caught by Santino. But I will also say, people thought
Hmm.
that so Grant rolls on the ground, right? While I'm
Right.
calling him. And I was like, Grant, what are you doing?
Get up.
I think I literally go, oh, he's down. Oh, he's rolling. Like and that was intentional of him. And that was a terrible decision on his part because he just rolled directly into whoever was catching him.
I will
But
say from the jump, Grant is making a lot of insane executive decisions in this
okay,
challenge.
listen. Okay, and here's the thing. So we had a strategy, which I ultimately do think was a bad strategy, but I was the one who came up with it. And
Hmm.
then Grant immediately is like, okay, we got to change our strategy. And then he just decides that instead of changing the strategy to something else cohesive and agreed upon, he just says, oh, I'm just gonna go crazy. I'm gonna yell over the other person's collar. I'm gonna just distract, deflect. I'm gonna roll on the ground. I'm gonna like he was really good at catching um when he was directed by a good
Bec
person.
yeah, right, because Zach
Yeah,
was good at saying left,
because
right,
Zach was good at,
forward.
yeah, and he was also good at being like right, left. Like he was not
Yes.
getting, he had a good spatial awareness, so he was good at the catching. But his calling, abysmal, horrible calling.
Horrible. I
Just
mean,
just bad. I
just
mean,
a
I
couple
wasn't
of,
great either. And
yeah.
luckily I was saved by being bad because he immediately starts rolling on the ground and I can't be at fault for that. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna give you some verbal directions and you
mhm.
just do whatever comes to your brain after I say them, okay? Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Stick with me here.
All
Stick with
right.
me. Okay. Run with the feet God gave you. Go
I'm
ahead.
going. I'm going. I'm going. I'm
Okay.
on. I'm running straight forward is what's
She's a
happening.
jackrabbit. Where are you gonna go?
You know, I'm just gonna go as fast as I can, I guess.
No, she's a jackrabbit. That's Caroline,
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
member of your team.
Yes, yes.
And then I have, you look like a bootleg Rupert.
Well, that was him talking to Santino, who
So
was
where are you
catching
going?
me. Nowhere. And again, I'm not listening to the verbal instructions, so it didn't really matter. Like, I think Justin was my caller the first time. I think maybe he was just not a great caller, but we also, like, he wasn't very loud either. So even if he was
Hmm.
giving good instructions, I couldn't really hear him. I also just find that I was like completely overwhelmed and overstimulated. So I just ran anywhere that I could go, basically.
Yeah.
There's just like a lot going on when you're like in total darkness and you have to rely only on your senses. um but yeah, and then so what I was gonna say is that in the end, when I get caught for like the doll's winning point, everyone thought that I purposefully rolled on the ground the way that Grant did. And I
Right.
had to be like, no, I just fell and I couldn't get up.
We are not the same.
We are not the same. Like I was so mad when he rolled on the ground because he got caught immediately. So I could not be lumped in with that. I fell, and instead of trying to like stay stationary long enough to get up, I decided I will roll as fast as I can. And then we
I
lost.
mean, once
RIP.
you're on the ground, it's kind of the only thing you can do.
Because if I find my I'm disoriented, if I find my footing to get up enough, I feel like I'm just immediately gonna get tagged. Like
Yeah.
the other team's person has long enough to tell the
Yeah,
person
I
where
just
I
don't
am.
understand the strategy of like this. I will intentionally roll on the ground. I will increase like the surface area, possibly be stepped on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
no, and
really,
it's also just dangerous for everyone involved.
right.
In that sense. But yeah, we determined that Grant was the best catcher though. That was like something we took away
I
from
mean,
the
he's got long
challenge.
arms.
Yeah, because he caught Allie.
He's lanky.
I don't know if he must have
I
caught
think he
somebody
just
else,
caught
just
Allie.
Allie. Yeah, and then I evaded once, so we
I think
determined I was.
that's the other thing. They were like, we can't get rid of Grant. He's
I know,
so
but here's the
strong.
thing.
I'm like, the only thing he
I
did was
know,
catch Allie once.
and as she's running off the game board, like off the
She's
game
she's at
field.
the game board. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like meanwhile, he caught Allie once and then he's rolling on the ground. He's yelling, "She's a jackrabbit. She's a jackrabbit. Run
Yeah.
with the feet God gave you. You look like a bootleg Rupert."
Yeah.
But he's
Well,
so
no,
strong.
listen, we didn't want him to be caller. That was not something we said he was strong at. But
Well,
he
he did it
he
twice.
did do it twice. I don't know what we had like no strategy
Yeah.
whatsoever. Like we were not thinking about who was doing what. Like we weren't taking feedback of like this person's really good at this. The only thing we took away from that was I was good at evading because I got away from Max, but also like barely. And then Grant was good at catching. That was like the only things we were like, okay, and then anything else that happens can be anyone else. We should have been putting Zach back in caller. But
Definitely.
I was not paying attention to the caller, to be honest. Like it's a lot of
The game really is caller centric.
yeah.
I think the glory went a lot to the people who
Yes.
were actually doing the catching or evading, but like at the end of the day, this is a communication challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not when I was
But
out there.
I had a lot of fun with it. I would do it again. I
I
hope it
would
comes
not
back.
I would not do it again. I also we talk about in tribal ever I think our team was just very scared to like go like hard at running away and stuff
Yeah.
was something that like freaked people out, like
Oh,
running
and Dylan was
fully
the bad
running blind.
caller because he let
Yes.
Caroline run into the fence.
terrible. Except, and he was also just, I think, dying at like Justin trying to catch Caroline. But
Justin
Grant,
running into Dominic on the
yeah,
camera.
but Grant
Like,
was such a bad caller for Justin that it didn't even matter. Caroline was
right.
like miles ahead, so I think Dylan didn't even like care really to try and like steer her anywhere because she was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
chilling.
What a grand old time. Yeah, so unfortunately you guys do lose and the dolls get their first win, which
Hmm.
means the coconuts are beginning to game.
Yeah. Oh, there's gaming that starts. Yeah. It
And
gets
you
kind
guys
of
are coming out
intense.
hot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You and Gabby are talking about like if you can really trust Grant, like
Hmm.
what's her strength, you know?
What's her
Um
strength exactly? It's more
uh
like, and I think we were in agreement that he was a strong asset to the team
yeah.
in terms of challenges, but it was more like, are we willing to trade that for someone that we is coming in late? Do we don't really think we can trust? He has a reputation that has been spouted by some people that he's
By
a
some
schemer.
unknown person. I don't know.
Who knows that he's a schemer. So
How did you feel being the only person on your tribe that actually did know him though?
I felt good. Like I thought that that was a benefit to me. Like for him to that's why I felt okay with him because I felt like I was able to work with him in a way that other people maybe wouldn't be able to. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Which
Right.
is I don't know if that's true. I don't think it is really, but I felt that in the moment. Like I was like, "Oh, I feel like I actually really do could get somewhere with this, you know?" And I was like it was one of those things where I was like, "I'll keep him at arm's length. Like I'm not going to tell him real game information, but he'll be good to have in my corner, like that kind of thing." And I pretty much
Yeah.
only solidified that I wanted to keep him when he showed me the idol because A, it was like, "Oh, wow, I was able to get that info out of him." And
Hmm. Well, yeah, he
B,
clearly did trust you.
yeah, I mean, I was again shocked at that fact, but I once the idol was there, honestly, like I think I say in my confessional, I didn't have time to really like sit down and think what to do about that. So all I knew is that I needed to keep him so I could figure it out later. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't just get rid of this like potential game benefit that I had sitting right in front of me with a final two with Grant and an idol, like a full idol. So I was like, it can't be Grant this time. It has to be somebody else so I can like figure this out later. Whether that was smart or not, who knows? But that's what I felt at the time.
Yeah, and you do a good job getting him to trust you and like getting that information out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But then you tell him that you were like plotting against him, even though you did change your
Listen,
mind.
listen.
I don't
Okay,
again, people hear the
I
first
know.
part and they stop listening.
I know. Okay, so listen, I didn't even think this was bad. Like I didn't even think about what I was saying, like and how he
Hmm.
was going to take it because I'm such a in my life, like I don't lie really. Like I'm such an
Right.
honesty-based person. So I felt like being honest that I felt like this was just a good move for the two of us was to pretend I don't trust him and then I
Hmm.
was saying that because I have already been going around saying I don't trust him, no one will ever suspect that I'm actually working with him which I think is true and I think is a good thing, but I probably should have thought about how he was going to take that. But because I was being honest with him, I didn't think that I needed to hedge it with a lot. I
Yeah.
didn't think I needed to
I
lie.
mean,
Like,
little did you know that that was his worst fear coming to the game, was everyone being like, he's a schemer. We can't trust him.
yep.
So then you said the magic words, and he was like, sorry, what?
I didn't even, okay, I never called him a schemer. I said he was a gamer. Okay. I just want
Yeah.
to put that out there. I never said the word schemer.
I think he used the word
He said
villain.
the word, I did say villain. I said,
Yeah, which isn't much. I think it's maybe worse.
I said I was worried he was going to be a villain, but
He
like,
literally goes, huh,
huh.
villain.
He goes, oh, and you told people this, huh?
Huh, villain, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you told people this? Yeah, gotta go.
You gotta go, which is fair. But I, again, like, because I was being honest, I didn't think I had anything to hide. So I was
Hmm.
like not really thinking about my words. I was like, this is perfect. Like I was just so excited about this potential like alliance that we had going. So I felt like I could be honest with him, but you know, you gotta watch
Yeah.
everything you say in this game. And that is something that like is just in general, like if you're not someone who thinks about your words before you speak, then
Oh
maybe
wow.
start to do that because it's like you
I mean, it's a
can't
hard skill to build.
you have to like be
Yeah.
aware of like, and I think about this in Big Brother when I watch Big Brother all the time because you're together all the time, and I'm sure it's true for Survivor too, but with the live feeds and everything you really think about it a lot more. Like every word you say, every like personal story you say, every like joke you tell, you have to be like so conscious of like how that's going to come across to people and like what that's going to potentially affect game wise, in addition to just trying to like be a person and like build relationships with people.
Yeah.
So that's
But
hard. Yeah.
I will say Grant is doing like a good job of like integrating himself despite kind of
Yes.
having that the villain, what's the word? The card on him, I guess,
Yeah.
identity placed upon
Yeah.
him. He comes in, he kind of wins people over.
Yeah.
Ella's like, you charmed me.
Yeah.
I do trust you now. Like, and even though he's doing his weird little like,
Pop thing.
akimbo
Oh yeah.
stance, with the sunglasses on, which
Yeah.
for me, I'd be like, oh, I don't trust this guy at all. Why is he standing like that?
Right. I'm
What's going
record
on here?
to quote him from last episode. I'm recording right now, buddy.
I'm recording right now, buddy. I was like, are you like pulling them over like at a traffic stop? What's going on? Yeah, but they're vibing with it. The girls
Yeah,
are
no.
like,
People are liking
I
it.
think we can work with you. And then but he picks up that Ella and Gabby are very close.
Yes.
And they think that they're winning him
I was gonna
over.
say
It
they're
really
yeah,
turned around on them.
it did. Yeah, because they're and it's funny because their reaction to you two seem close is like, well, we're friends, but we've never played this game together before. Like that kind of thing,
Right.
which
And
is
now they
funny.
have their backs against the wall a little bit because
Hmm.
now he's running off telling Zach about it,
Yes. Yeah.
about a potential Black Widow brigade.
Yes. Which also is funny to me, but because Zach is like the absolute wrong person to talk about a Black Widow
Yeah.
brigade with.
Zach's like, oh yeah, yeah, boy strong,
Boy
yeah.
strong. Woohoo.
Yeah, masculinity.
And yeah, I liked his confessional being like, even if that was true, I would rather let the Black Widow Brigade like take me out at like be the bottom of their alliance rather than like work with Grant against the girls. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But I just thought that was really, really interesting how this like turned around. Now he's kind of in this like power position, except for
Yeah.
Zach. I think Zach's the only one who's kind of like,
Zach,
I don't
yeah.
like what's
Yeah,
happening with this
for
guy.
sure. Yeah, and Zach expressed that to me at some point, like about he like told me that like Grant was worried about the Black Widow Brigade and stuff. I can't remember if that was like this round or the round after, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But let's talk about the contrast of the dolls because
Oh
there's a
my
lot of
God.
gaming happening
Mm-hmm.
at the Coconuts camp. Obviously, last round they were at
Mm-hmm.
Tribal. This round they're safe, but now the game's off. Even though it was very much just on, it's interesting to now like totally turn it off. I
Mm-hmm.
understand when you like never had to vote someone off, kind of just being like, well,
Mm-hmm.
now we're in like the honeymoon phase,
Yeah.
but no one's looking for an idol that they know is probably there somewhere, although it's not what they
It's
think it
not.
is,
Yeah.
but there is stuff to find.
Yeah, well,
Um,
in their head, based on what they know about the Dominic situation, I mean, Allie knows that it's going to get bequeathed to somebody, but
right,
everybody else should be thinking it's going to get rehidden
right.
on their camp
They
because that would
haven't
what.
even found the puzzle box yet.
Yeah, yeah.
They
That's
have
sitting on
not
the
walked
table.
around the perimeter of the camp, the house,
Mm,
to find that there's a strange box on the table with a
yeah.
note that says like, "Don't move this. Can you figure me
Yeah.
out?"
Yeah. Like you said, I
Crazy.
was gonna say the same thing. Like it's one thing to be like the way the coconuts were episode one, where it's just sort of like, oh my God, we won the challenge. We're so happy. Let's get to know each
Hmm.
other a little bit. But like the fact that they've already like drawn a line in the sand with each other and they're still not talking game at all is crazy. Like
It's cuckoo.
the shift from like the conversations that are happening on the coconuts to the conversations that are happening on the dolls are just comical. Like
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
crazy.
we get like they're all just sitting in a circle talking about like Allie's like shirt, her Frodo
Yes.
Baggins whatever shirt,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Gay pride?
Yeah. I don't even know who those women are.
I don't even know who those were. And that is an example of the two ends of like the queer spectrum, like sapphic and like masculine, I guess. Uh like Dylan's like, I don't know who those women are. And Allie with her
Meanwhile,
like
Allie's like,
her meme shirt. I mean, it was great content, but
yes.
it's slightly concerning in a game
The fact that it
context.
happens like every time we cut away from it, it's like, haha. By the time we come back, they'll be talking game. No, it happened like every single time we panned over to them. It was
Hmm.
non-game talk. There was not a single game conversation that occurred past Allie
No,
being like, be so honest. Like
no.
past that, not a single one.
Yeah, and we also know that they're, because Ella found a fake idol at
Mm-hmm.
the Coconuts camp that there's probably one. I mean, they don't know that, but
Yes.
there's probably one at the dolls camp,
Yeah.
and no one's
Not
found it because they're
no.
just sitting in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And from my understanding about the fake idol, it was hidden in a pretty
it was like
obvious spot.
blatantly a very obvious spot so
Right.
that someone would find it and be
Like a
like,
red
"Oh,
herring kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So open your eyes, girls. It's
Open
time.
them up."
It's time to start going.
Yeah, so that's just interesting. Do
We
we
also
have
have to talk
any
about Justin being my biggest hater in this game.
and good for him.
Good for
Someone had to
him.
be. That was the only way he was going to get into this game is if he
I
had you to hate
know.
against.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't
And
really know anyone else. So he's like,
yeah.
yeah, let's target my sister.
Yeah, and that's fun, and I'm here for it. I just love the way he frames it. I don't like Jess.
I don't like Jess.
To be so clear, I don't fuck with her
I don't fuck with her. But that
inside or out of
honestly
this
that's
game.
good for him because
Mm-hmm.
if anything, people are probably like, oh, like they're literal siblings, like they're probably
Yeah,
just gonna stick together forever. So like he's created that divide already so that there's
yeah,
no doubt in people's minds that like he's willing to cut and
yeah,
like get
and like
far with other people.
yeah, and Zach is already talking about it. Like Zach's the first to mention it. I'm worried about Justin and Jess. You
Yeah,
know, yeah. So
it's
I think,
fair. I mean, it's the same thing with a couple, right? A sibling is
mhm.
really like I mean, maybe not as intense, but like
Yeah, I think that
sibling and
sibling
couple are
is a
similar.
little different because most siblings have some kind of competitive nature to
Definitely.
them in some way. So I think that like assuming siblings are working together isn't necessarily like as surefire as couples. I mean, a lot of couples also are competitive with each other,
For sure.
like Gabby and CJ, but I think that siblings more so. I feel like you almost have more of a drive to take each other down in certain
Yeah, I guess my
circumstances.
assumption would be like if if the only person you know
Yeah.
here is your sibling,
Yes.
you're probably gonna like stick by them. That's probably like if
Yeah.
I only person I knew playing and when I went to a game was Max if I was playing, I probably would be like, yeah,
Yeah.
Max, let's team up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think that's the difference with this is like he truly has no relationship with anybody else besides me. So
yeah, but do love him. He gives us
gotta love
some
him.
good content
I Justin, Survivor Justin is so funny. I mean, Justin's just funny, but like I think a lot of people are like surprised by how funny he is.
because it's so
Um,
casual.
it's
He's
so
not putting
casual.
it on. He's just like, I am funny.
Yeah. And like he's kind of the person where he's like in most group situations, he's like doesn't speak unless spoken to kind of thing. So
Mm.
you really gotta talk to him to get that funny out of him.
Yeah, he doesn't say much, but whenever he does, it hits. Like he
Yeah.
does not miss.
Oh, he does not miss.
He does not miss. He knows when to chime something in, and
Hmm.
it's golden every time. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that for
Yeah.
him. Do we have anything to say about Tribal Council? I feel like it wasn't that eventful.
No, just that Surat looks so sad.
Oh.
He had to know what was happening. Like,
Yeah,
I
because
do have
Gabby's like, yeah, we're thinking about strength, like
mhm,
really like strength of the tribe, and he just looks
so
like one
sad.
of the like dogs from the ASPCA
Yes, like a
commercials.
kicked puppy.
Oh,
But I do have a question. I mean, we can
yeah.
ask him, but my question for him is why me? Why'd you write my name
Why
down?
me?
Because I just am genuinely curious because there's no footage of that being the decoy vote. So I'm just curious, like, if he even remembers how that came about. But
Yeah. No, that's a fair question.
it's
Because
not that big of a
because we
deal,
know
but
that Grant is like, you gotta go. And we know that
mm-hmm.
Justin is kind of floating your name around, but
Yeah.
other than that, we don't know like how we got to him.
Yeah, because I'm assuming he's chatting with Ella
Well,
and
we know
like a
for sure
bit.
Ella and
So
Zach have talked to
yeah.
him.
So I feel like there did they bring up my name? Maybe right before that though, they talk about Zach mentions me and Justin being a potential duo, and then it goes right into the Surat conversation, I believe. So I think maybe that's where that came about.
Yeah.
Maybe they just kind of repeat that to Surat after, like,
Yeah, so
oh,
we will definitely get
mhm.
this information from the mouth. Is that a word?
Yes,
Is
directly
that
from, yeah,
direct
sure,
from his, yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Um from the source.
Yeah.
So when we return, we will be back with the one and only Surat. Welcome, Surat. So happy to see your face. Hopefully more happy than you looked at the end of this episode.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. And don't feel like you need to, coddle my feelings at all, but I do have the big question. Did you have fun?
I did, yes.
Did you
Yes, I
actually?
did.
Because I
I think
mean, it
I
didn't
had
go off to a good start.
I had a lot of fun. I think I feel like looking at the episodes and just like seeing how everything went, I had more fun in production than I think I would have if I continued playing the game.
Yeah.
Mm.
And do you think that was
Yeah.
because of the circumstances, or you think like regardless, you would have just had more fun doing production?
I think regardless of whether or not I like um went underwater,
Not
I
went
think
underwater. We've been calling it the drowning situation.
The surrounding situation.
yes, the drowning stitch. Uh, I think seeing everyone else have fun and like hearing the chit chat and I think just um getting to follow people around and like not participate in that
Yeah.
way and not have to like think and play the game, I think was a lot better for me. I think who was saying this? I think Gabby was saying this. Like Surat's not in just yet, and I was like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Like
I think
physically,
Yeah.
you're right.
mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
not there.
Checked
So you
out a
like being a
little.
Yeah,
nosy bitch, is what I'm hearing.
exactly.
Gotcha,
Like I
gotcha.
like to participate without actually having to put in the work.
Hmm.
And I think that's like kind of the perks of being a PA.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jess had a specific question to ask.
I did. I don't know if you remember at all your like the thoughts that were the conversations that were happening like off camera during this time, but I was just wondering why'd you write my name down? My like why you voted for me versus somebody else, like who told you to. I just am curious. It's not
And I can
like
leave if you
that
guys want
deep.
to hash this out
Yeah, because we're
No.
fighting.
because you both wrote each other's names down.
Yeah, because we voted for each other,
Um,
so we're fighting.
I don't think I remember
Yeah.
why in particular. Um,
Do you think it was like, did you just come up with it, or did someone tell you to write her name down?
no, it was probably like, oh, you know what it was? I think it was like, okay, who do I feel like is the person that is most likely to like want to vote me out? And I was like, oh no, I have like this strong like it was really hard to tell where everyone's head was at because
Hmm.
everyone's a good fucking liar.
Hmm.
Can I
Hmm.
curse? Okay.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I was like, because everyone's like a really good liar, but I was like, I have a sneaky suspicion that Jess is either spearheading this or she's gonna like just want to kick me out. So I'm gonna retaliate against her and
An
vote for her.
uprising. Yeah,
And you
Yeah, I
yeah.
weren't
think that's what it
wrong.
was.
No, you weren't wrong. I wanted you out probably more than like more strongly than other people just because I had a stronger connection with the other people who were being talked about, Grant and Justin.
Uh-huh.
So I was
Yeah.
like it's between those three, it's got to be you for me, but deeply
Gotcha.
sorry.
So fair. So fair.
So it's totally just coincidental that she happened to be the other name, like kind of
Yeah.
floating around.
Yeah. I
Damn,
mean,
maybe you
it
could have
makes
gotten
sense.
something going. Like, what do you think you could have done to maybe flip the vote on her?
Hard to flip a boat when you're underwater already.
Yes.
I I don't know if I had enough, I think, um, like leverage to be able to pull something like that. I think if
Hmm.
something were to happen like that, it would probably be like purely just coincidental or
Hmm.
like because of someone else's gameplay. Um, I don't know if I at
Yeah.
that time like would be able to do something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
fair.
fair.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, because you came back into the game, like you missed a lot of it. Obviously, you were
Yeah.
recovering. Like how did you like approach coming back after such a long hiatus?
Um, scrambling, and I'm
Hmm.
sure everyone could tell that I was scrambling. I think in my head I was just like, all right, we're grasping at straws here. What can we do? What can I lean on to be able to like try and uh get like a better footing of the situation. And I don't know if I use that like Dylan thing very well. It's like a double-edged sword. Like
Hmm.
people could feel good about that, people could feel like poorly about that, and I think um they were just like, no, like
Yeah.
like
Wait, take me through
what
your
are you
thought
talking about,
process.
Surat? What's
Yeah.
up?
Take me through your thought process of like how you thought that was gonna go with Zach and Ella.
And I was so delusional. I was like, oh yeah, like they're gonna keep me around and like, I could play like double agent and like I can convince Dylan that we're on the same team. And then when he least expects it, I'm gonna chop him off along with everyone else.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I just, I think it was really delusional. I think I, in retrospect, admire the amount of, I think, like time, energy, and like gall and gumption that it required to produce a thought like that, you know?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah.
You
No,
know, I think
but I,
everyone needs to be a little Delulu to play this
oh,
game.
totally.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think it's not a terrible idea. I just think the people you were talking to stopped listening.
Yeah.
After you said I have a
Yeah.
secret alliance with Dylan, they were like, "Huh? What?
Yeah.
Sorry?"
It was
Yeah.
a good thought. It was a good effort for someone who's coming in at zero.
Right.
Everyone's already like, you're kind of coming into an already formed tribe at this point because you were gone for the full first round. So it's like you're swimming upstream a little.
I do admire it, because I think you very easily could have come in and been like, yeah, guys, I don't know, just do what's best
Yeah.
for you. You could
Yeah.
vote me if you want, like whatever. But like I admire that you came in fighting, even though it didn't really work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good
Swimming
effort.
upstream is very apt.
Yeah. Okay, please.
Yeah, I regretted saying it the second I said
Like
it.
honestly, just like a montage of all of like the water related or swimming related.
Are there any other
Um,
analogies we're missing? Well, we talked about some in the first
Yeah, we
episode.
did.
Dylan
Specifically
says
Dylan,
Dylan said that you were an anchor
and you're gonna
weighing
weigh
him
him
down.
down.
You were
ooh,
dead weight.
that's a good
And he wanted everyone to know that from the jump, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
from the dive.
one.
So I think there was some like something was working against you from the beginning,
yeah.
and I'm so sorry.
It
You
was
deserved
cosmic.
better.
Yeah, it's all
I
right.
Yeah.
apologize
No.
deeply. Okay, but I have a question. Do you think that they made the right decision? Because you are a very physical person, you're very intelligent, you bring a lot of rapport to the group. Um, you know, do you think that if you had stayed in that you could have been a valuable asset to the team?
Um, I You know, I feel like I thought about this a little bit, and I think that it was like a really good strategic decision. Like, I think that in terms of the physical challenges that the teams faced after I had left, I definitely felt like there were some that I would have like excelled in, but I don't think that I had like the endurance to be able to keep up with the game for as long as everyone
Yeah,
else did. I
very
think I
fair.
was like still recovering,
Hmm.
and there were times where like I just I was like, oh God, like thank God that I'm out now so that I can like don't have to spend this much mental energy like thinking about what the next game plan
Hmm.
is, like who do I need to like talk to, who do I need to strategize with. I think that that's the part that I think just would send me into a spiral, and I don't think I had the capacity to do something like that at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, very fair. I mean, the game is
Yeah.
tough for people who are in like the most optimal state, so
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
game gets crazy.
It
The
sure
deeper
does.
the deeper into it you get, it's yeah.
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 Okay, but question. If you were to play again in theory, uh
Okay.
would you like come in doing anything differently? Would you approach it in a different way? What's your strategy?
Um, uh, I don't know. I think I would say, is there a spot on the PA team?
You just want to do production. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Like,
That's so valid, so
yeah,
valid.
Any advice
like,
then potentially for people who need to maybe compartmentalize their um I don't know, emotions, mental
um,
state?
I don't know. I think like you either have to be built for it or like you're not. Like, and
You
I
either
think I'm
have it
just,
or you don't.
yeah, and I think I think I have enough self-awareness to know that like I'm not one of those bitches that like
Hmm.
has it within them to be able to succeed at this like game. Um, so yeah, like luck of the draw. You're
Yeah.
either born with it or you're not.
Yeah, that's
That's so
fair.
fair. That's so fair.
Yeah.
So let's talk about someone who maybe does have the X factor here. We're talking about our
Yes,
episode
for this
MVP.
episode. Who's born
Do
with
we
it?
who is born with it? Who has done a stellar job this episode, putting them in like a good position? Who do we got?
Yeah. I think in this episode, Grant really like came out swinging. He got onto a new team. He came in and he was like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do. This is like how we're playing the game." And he really just like he hit the ground running this episode.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's so fair. And I gave Grant my episode MVP last episode. However, this time I'm gonna switch it up. I am going to crown. I actually put episode MVP question marks a bunch because I really didn't know who to say.
Oh,
But
I'm excited to
I
hear.
ended up saying Zach as episode MVP. I think he's playing
Hmm.
very quiet, but I think that's a good thing. Like I think Grant is playing a very out there game, but I think Zach is building the groundwork for like a long lasting game. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, like I just think because he has the yin yang idol that Dominic gave him. He has been talking to everyone and he has a lot of intel. He has intel about Grant's Black Widow Brigade plan. Doesn't He's like one of the only people who doesn't trust Grant right now, like who's not being fooled by his little schemes that seem to be happening. He heard about the secret alliance with Dylan that you talked about, Surat. I just feel like he's in like all the right conversations, but he's keeping
Mm,
everything close to his chest. I don't think anyone is
Hmm.
looking at him in a bad way. But I also don't think they're looking at him as like an overwhelming threat either. I don't know. I just think he's in a good spot.
yeah, I respect that. I do. And I'm not mad at it. However, I did also say Grant.
That's fair.
I and I hate to use the phrase again, but I think that he came in, he had to swim upstream because um, you know, he had a lot working against him. You were going around slandering his name, calling him a villain, a schemer, what have you. And he came in and he put on the charm.
Hmm.
He dazzled them with his boyish charm. And he won everyone over except for Zach, obviously. But
Yeah.
this is not an easy thing to do.
No, no. He's definitely playing a good game.
Yeah. But I guess we have to make an
Yeah.
ultimate decision.
I think we go majority rules. I think because I gave Grant MVP last time, I'm totally fine giving him MVP this time. He's playing the same type game he's playing both episodes. So I think Grant can be our episode MVP.
All
Second
right,
week in a row. I mean, he had to
second
share it.
week
He had
in
to
a
share it
row.
last time with Dylan, but
Yeah.
this time it's just him. So
Is
congratulations,
it
Grant.
well, maybe the episode MVP is Surat for,
I mean,
being so brave
that's
to
true.
come back.
I know. We fully thought that you were going
Honorary.
to, like, we thought you were gonna just quit. Like, we were like, oh, he's just gonna be done. When you came
Yeah.
down to the dock in that like opening scene, we were like, whoa, he's here.
Yeah, I was like, I need a rally. I can't
Yeah,
just give up now.
yeah, and that's so great that you were able to do that for a little. Yeah, and I hope you had a little fun doing the game stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So congrats to Zach. No, Zach didn't win. I'm
Zach,
so
no,
sorry.
Zach did.
Boo, Zach, actually.
Boo,
Congrats
Zach.
to Grant.
Great.
Congrats to Grant. And thank you so much, Sarat, for being here. And hopefully we can get you on the PA team in a future season.
Yes.
Of course, thank you for having me. And we'll definitely be executive PA, like executive assistant, like we're gonna be there.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, and with
So.
that, ma'ams are signing off.